Hey, what's going on guys? I'm here with a Beyblade Burst update. And it's been a while since I've made one of these videos, but I thought I'd bring them back since I know how convenient it is to have somebody gather all of this information and use and put it together in one video. So I think I'm doing you guys a favor by doing this. And one thing I just hated about it was doing all the research and stuff, but to be honest, with Cartoon releasing so much stuff every month, and Hasbro releasing stuff as well, it's really hard to keep up. And that's something I've experienced personally, so I'm just going to go ahead and do you guys that favor by at least trying my best to gather all of this news information and putting it together in one video. So, before I do make this update though, I do want to give credit to my sources. So, the one being the WBO, or World Beyblade Organization. They are pretty much the biggest news supplier for releases and stuff, so make sure you go check them out. It's also a forum obviously, and I'm sure you guys are aware or familiar with it now, so anyway, I'll put a link to that. Go check it out. You can stay updated with current releases and all that, but that is where I get all of my information. But without further ado, let's start off with the update. So I have a lot of stuff to talk about in terms of releases, like stuff that's coming out within the next month or so. But I want to start off with the digital sword launcher. So this launcher will be released in early September, and it comes in two different colors, one being red and the other being blue. And they seem to kind of fit a theme. So the blue one for Valkyrie and the red one for Excalibur. And the red one's pretty much like the main one because it is for the new evolution of Excalibur, which I will be talking about later in this video, but these are just electronic launchers with built-in bay loggers, I believe. And they are electric, so they do kind of have a meter to read your launch strength. But they're also really expensive, and that's the funny part. Like, these things are unbelievably expensive. They go for about 3,000 yen, which is about like $30. And 30 for one launcher just seems like a lot to me personally, so yeah. But on the bright side, it is also dual rotation, so you can use it for both your left spin and right spin Beyblades. But yeah, just that price point is just killing it for me. I think I won't be getting one. I don't know, I'd probably just recommend getting it if you're a hardcore collector or something, because from what I understand, the previous electronic launchers in Metal Fight weren't that good either, so I really don't know if they're going to be good in terms of strength or durability, but they're a pretty nice little accessory. And moving on, we have a new Beyblade, and this Beyblade's pretty unique. It was first announced as Shadow Orichalcum, and people thought that was the official name, but it turns out that that was actually just a recolor of the original. So the original Beyblade is Orichalcum Outer Octa. Hopefully I got that right, but this is the new legendary Beyblade. So it was first Amaterios, then Baldur, but now it's Orichalcum. So the theme of this is the Omega symbol, which is pretty freaking awesome. But yeah, this Beyblade's unique, and I guess Dakota told me to celebrate for its premiere, they are doing a 10 times Bay Point campaign. So if you're not aware, any Bay Point codes you scan between now and like the next week or so, you will get 10 times the points, which is absolutely insane. This is the biggest Bay Point multiplier we've had ever. So if you have any codes, make sure to scan them right away. Or if you want to slide some over to your boy Kivo, I'd really appreciate that. But anyway, yeah, you can scan your codes and hopefully get a chance to win this Beyblade, because right now you can only win it through the website. However, that's where the Shadow version comes into play. But I'm going to go ahead and cover the parts first. So the Orichalcum layer is, as you can see, very round, but also has a really unique design. I'm not sure what type of Beyblade this is. I would think it's a stamina type, judging by the design, since it's very circular. And the gimmick is that the parts kind of extend out when it's spinning, so it kind of just strikes the opponent or makes it really hard to burst. And they advertise it as being very, very hard to burst as well. So that might actually be a very viable layer for tournaments or competitive use, but we still haven't gotten it yet, like in our hands, so we don't know for sure. The disc is, I believe, outer, and this is a disc that we can't really see that well. We kind of have this teaser image, and you can just see the silhouette. It's very circular, and I don't really know what else to say because we don't know much. And then we have the driver, which is Octa, another exclusive part, but also not much we know about it because it is also still a silhouette teaser picture. We're really gonna have to wait until somebody wins one and gets it shipped to them. And I do know that some people in Japan have won it already. I personally tried about 30 times to win it and I did not have any luck. I think Xcalibur is really lowering the win rate for this. Amatorius was relatively easy to win. Baldur became incredibly hard to win. And I think Orichalcum would be probably the hardest legendary beta win. But on the bright side, we have the Shadow Orichalcum, which is a recolor of the layer. And that Beyblade comes with arrow and bite. So you're not getting the same disc and driver, but you're still getting that layer. So if you're really wanting to get that layer, you can get that Shadow Orichalcum recolor. And I'd hit up your Beyblade sellers in Japan. It is like a mail-in exclusive for the Koro issues, so you might have to pay a little bit extra for that, but you can guarantee yourself the layer at least. And it also comes with bite, which is also relatively hard to get. So personally, I think that's a good buy, honestly, rather than trying to get the original Orichalcum. And moving on, we have the God Evolution for Excalibur, and this is what I'm saving for last because it's probably the major release of September, just judging by the trends, like how they release stuff. But yes, this is the evolution of Xeno Excalibur, the third in the Excalibur series, and this thing's pretty much really hyped up, but there's a lot to talk about. So I'm going to start off with the layer, and you can see that this layer really does resemble Xeno Excalibur a lot, but they kind of seem to have shifted the design a little bit, like in terms of looks and the overall shape. The overall shape, if you look at it carefully, kind of resembles a rhombus now, and it's kind of crazy seeing how the original Excalibur was focused more on the sword, and it gradually became less exposed. So Xeno Excalibur kind of focused less on the sword, and then we got this Sieg Excalibur, Sieg Excalibur, whatever you want to call it. We got this layer here that just kind of makes the sword seem just like a little part of the layer now. And yeah, the fact that it resembles Xeno Excalibur a lot made some people upset. They expected more of a change in terms of its design. Personally, I like it though. A nice combination of red, gold, and silver with the metal. So yeah, and that's the next part, the metal in the layer. So the sword itself, like the actual main sword on the layer, is made out of metal. That's like the main god ability. And it's actually a borrowed gimmick from Lost Longinus. So people were also upset with that. It seemed like it was they thought it was kind of boring in terms of creativity or whatever, but I think it's going to be effective for attacks, and that's probably why Kartomi did it. But now that leaves us to question what gimmick Nightmare Longinus will have. Will it also have metal in the layer, or what? Because we're really not sure at this point. Meanwhile, yeah, this layer features metal on the sword, and I think it's going to have some pretty heavy impacts, especially with that weight. You know, I'm sure the layer will be pretty heavy. And yeah, just overall, it seems like the sword is less exposed now, more just like part of the layer, but the fact that they made the sword metal is really significant, and hopefully it will be the #1 attack layer. And I say that because Burst as a whole is missing a good attack layer. They're just not strong enough to keep up with what's dominating right now, and that's stamina and defense. So if we can get a solid attack layer, that will definitely balance out the metagame. Moving on, we have the disc, which is 1, and I was kind of disappointed with this disc. I expected more of a crazy design. If you look at it carefully, it really just resembles Limited from Kaiser Kurbius, but just like a few changes on it. You know, with it being 1, I figured it'd be like a really nice creative design, but it's just like a Limited with some, I don't know, it just looks like slightly designed, and it's fitted for the layer. Like when you think about it, like the 3 sides on it, it looks like it's meant for this new Beyblade. And that's also a trend that we saw earlier. Like I know Magnum was meant for Xeno Excalibur, and Force was meant for Excalibur. And when I say meant, I meant like it was designed for that layer. But yeah, I'm kind of disappointed with the design. Hopefully it's heavy to be effective for some layers, especially like 3-sided layers. Lastly, we have the driver, which is also a pretty hyped up part, and it's called Iron, and it's basically just a metal flat. So this is the metal flat version for Burst, and a lot of people were expecting this sooner or later, and it finally got released. You know, seeing this being used in Takartomi's promotional video, I noticed that the movement pattern's very calm, which is kind of weird seeing how Excalibur and Xeno Excalibur are really fast and aggressive, but this metal driver is just a lot calmer and steady, and it just seems kind of out of place with Excalibur. But that's just what they did for Excalibur. I just think it's not a proper driver for this new Beyblade, but at least it's metal flat. A lot of people are hyped. People think they can use it on some left spin or tornado stallers or just attack in general. Metal flats have always been effective in every Beyblade generation, so seeing this driver is very promising. Hopefully it will also help attack just overall. And yeah, just the Beyblade as a whole, I think it's very, very nice looking and also very hyped. It will be probably the biggest release for the month of September. And you know, seeing Xeno Excalibur with the sword launcher and now seeing the Sieg Excalibur with a proto launcher is kind of silly. Very disappointed actually, but it seems like they're going to try to make the electronic launcher Excalibur's launcher, but you're going to have to buy that separately. So you get a really crappy launcher with this Beyblade, but you know, you can still use the string launcher and all that. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the upcoming releases. This is pretty much what we know so far. I know there has been other products announced, like a new random layer collection and, you know, all these new names for Beyblades, but I really don't want to cover them until we get images and just some more basic information. So stay tuned for more updates in the future. Make sure you are subscribed. That will make sure that you're keeping up. But also, if you reach this point in the video, make sure to comment down below. Putty is king. I just want to know who else has reached this point in the video, because I know I kind of talk a lot in these kind of videos, but to have people watch the entire video really means a lot to me. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to also like and comment your thoughts down below, and most importantly, hit that notification bell. That just makes sure that my videos reach you guys when I upload them. And yeah, so until next time guys, see ya.